Longevity has become a very popular trend these days. Brian Johnson is probably your most famous one. He spends $2 million a year to look younger, healthier, and age backwards. A lot of people are going into what they call biohacking. I give them credit for being great engineers and reading a lot, but what they don't have is direct experience of how these things actually work. What worries me is that a lot of the biohackers and the information out there is still heavily dependent on medications. Case in point, rapamycin, very popular. Rapamycin is very interesting. It's a drug that was developed out of bacteria living in the soil of Easter Island, so it's very cool where it came from. In its prescription form, it's meant to prevent rejection of transplanted kidneys. It is therefore biological, meaning it has direct activity on your immune system. And it carries two serious black box warnings, which means you need to be very much aware of these because this drug has a serious risk of possibly lethal complications. One is sepsis because it impairs the immune system, increases your risk of serious life-threatening infections. A common simple infection could become much worse than that and even untreatable or not treatable before you die of it. The risk of that is low, but it's not zero. Otherwise, it wouldn't come with that warning. The second is that it increases the risk of leukemia. By altering the T cell functions of your immune system, those immune cells could go haywire and mutate into a form of leukemia. Well, rapamycin works by inhibiting an aging chemical in our body called mTOR. The OR stands for rapamycin, where they first discovered it. mTOR is sort of an inflammatory, destructive chemical in our bodies that tends to increase cellular breakdown and aging. Simply based on the evidence that mice who've been mutated have short lives will live longer if they're on rapamycin. There's some evidence that dogs live longer on it. We don't have conclusive evidence on humans, and dogs and mice don't live long enough to get these kind of leukemias from the long-term exposure to this medication. Well, there are simpler, less expensive ways to do that. It's nice to inhibit mTOR, but there are other things in nature that can do this without that risk.